part of that stretch. Meanwhile, Philly coming off that big win over Brooklyn on Wednesday. They get Joel Embiid back, and we get Antoine Walker back. Twan, who's a bigger threat to win the title heading into tonight's matchup, Clippers or the 76ers?
It's got to be the Clippers. When you look at what they've done over the last 10 games, they're 8-2. The offensive efficiency in which they're playing at, they're averaging close to 120 points a game. The defense has picked up to another level, which we thought they would be a great defensive team when you think about these two-way wings they got, and obviously Patrick Beverly and Serge Ibaka. So we thought they could be really good defensively. And everything is now starting to come together. Marcus Morris Sr. is starting to play great offensively. Paul George and obviously Kawhi have been great all season long. Even Kawhi's been in MVP talks early in the season. So those guys have came back with the right mentality. Nick is going to love this, but I believe the addition of Rajon Rondo is huge. You may not see that right now. You may not see that right now.
Love it. They want to
come play it. Yeah, come playoff time, you will see that will make a big difference. I like the pickups that they've made with Cousins as a bag-up big that you may need down the line. Reggie Jackson's played well in the stretch, so everything for the Clippers to me is starting to kick in. I like their chances very much, especially as long as those two superstars and with the Lakers are still down. The Clippers are my favorite to come out the West.
Yeah, but Twan, I don't know why he would be mad, because playoff Rondo helped win his boys a championship last year. So he should be celebrating Rondo instead of bashing him every time he get an opportunity. But look, you're right. I agree with you. The Clippers is the answer. I mean, you can just turn on the film, watch the game from a couple nights ago, the Nets taking on the Sixers. I mean, that was our JV team. Those Brooklyn bad boys should be more confident than ever after almost escaping with a win against Embiid and Simmons. And now you look at the Clippers. I mean, the Suns scared me out west. You got Paul George. Not Paul George, excuse me. Chris Paul playing phenomenal. And I mean, what he's done with that team and that organization in this short amount of time is nothing short of phenomenal. But man, these guys here, Kawhi Leonard, and then Paul George with the new mindset. Like, that's what we've been waiting on, is Paul George. Those two together with playoff Rondo, tremendous coaching and leadership now. I just don't see the Utah Jazz or the Phoenix Suns beating them boys out west. And the Lakers is up for discussion. I mean, those guys got to get healthy.
Okay, so I think Brandon and Antoine but I think I might be able to potentially change both their minds. But first, about tonight's game, just quickly, Jenna said she might be there. I will be there, and I'm going to be looking very closely after the game to see if Clippers and Sixers players, I know there's, social distancing rules, but if they congregate and they share some phone numbers, because both of these teams' seasons ultimately are going to be ended by the Lakers, the Clippers in the conference finals, and the Sixers in the NBA finals. And while if history tells us anything, LeBron knocks you out of the playoffs, you then commiserate with someone else he knocked out of the playoffs. You maybe talk about joining forces, like Harden. He knocks him out last year. He's like, I can't win here. Let me go join with KD, who he beat in the playoffs for. So I just hope they get contact info, the text message, IG handles, all that stuff. But both Antoine and Brandon are answering it to me as of, well, the Clippers are more likely to make the finals, so therefore they're the right answer. But I think both Antoine and Brandon think the Nets are right now the favorites. So I looked at it as, because to win the title, the Sixers are going to have to go through the Nets, and the Clippers, if they were to get to the finals, ostensibly, they'd have to go through the Nets. So I looked at it as, which of these teams is best built to beat the Nets, which is everyone's championship favorite but me, because I still believe in the underdog Lakers. And that's clearly the Sixers, because the Clippers can't take advantage of the one thing the Nets don't have, which is size. The Sixers can, and some would argue, in a series, the Sixers are going to have the most important thing to have in an NBA series, the best player on the court. Now, I'm not one to go as far as say Joel Embiid is the baddest man alive, but my dear friend Brandon Marshall is. And if you have the baddest man alive, you're supposed to win your playoff series typically. And so I think that if you have to go through the Nets to win the title, and the Sixers definitely do, and the Clippers, were they to get there, probably would, I don't think the Clippers are built to beat the Nets because they can't take advantage of the Nets' lack of size. So I think the answer is the Sixers, who are built, in my opinion, to beat the Nets because they're a great defensive team and they have right now the most dominant center in the league, Wilds.
Yeah, man, I believe in the Sixers. And Brandon, you were in a tough spot yesterday with the Nets-Sixers game because you love the Nets, but you also love Joel Embiid. So I want to show you a play of what really made me believe in the Sixers. It was when Embiid was being guarded by DeAndre Jordan. Not bad, gets double teamed. Watch DeAndre's reaction here. He's like, there's nothing I can do. Watch this reaction. Oh, you got to be kidding me. What's going on? So I think that Embiid is such a dominant force right now in this MVP season, if he played enough games, that I think he is going to be a monster and too tough to stop. On the flip side, hold on, I'll throw it to Antoine. On the flip side, Antoine, I think Ben Simmons has been so vocal about Defensive Player of the Year. He's almost taken a page out of Pat Beverly's book. I want to see him shut down Paul George tonight. Because I think while Embiid is unstoppable, I think Paul George is very stoppable. And I know we give him credit for this new mindset, which is actually about playing through, his hurt toe. I think that Ben Simmons is going to give him a ton of problems tonight. Embiid's going to have a good game, and Ben Simmons is going to shut Paul George down.
Well, it seems like you guys like Philly, but the reason why I didn't pick Philly and don't believe that they can beat the Nets is because of Ben Simmons, the guy you just talked about. His inability on the offensive end to score the basketball is going to hurt them come playoff time. I watched the game the other night. They sag off him. They give him tons of room. When you get in the playoffs, they're going to sit in Embiid's lap. Teams are not going to allow Embiid to just work and get to the free throw line and do what he want to do. Ben Simmons has yet to make the adjustment to be aggressive offensively, to attempt to shoot a three-point shot, attempt to shoot a jump shot. That's the problem with them. And he's going to be the guy that's a big playmaker for them. He handles the ball a lot. He's great on defense. All of a sudden, he's became this world beater on defense. Maybe I've been missing it, but I don't see that. He is a very good defender. I would like to see him sit down and try to lock down some of these top wings. Well, but listen, if he I'm just telling you with Philly, don't put all your hopes in Philly because Ben Simmons is still the X factor for the Philadelphia 76ers. What can he do offensively? To beat the Nets, you got to get to 115 points, Nick. You got to get to 115, 120. The Clippers right now are getting to 115 right now in the last 10. They're one of the few teams that can do it.
Yeah, let's start with Ben Simmons averaging 15 points a game, please. That ain't enough. And then you talk about defense. If Kyrie would have finished the game, Kyrie would have dropped 35 on him. He talking about he the defensive player of the year, please. And then when you talk about this team and how, they match up well against the Nets and they're going to beat the Nets, how? Because this is exactly what Antoine just talked about, Nick. What they're going to do is say, all right, well, whoever's guarding Ben Simmons, we want you to go double team Embiid. And that's what they show. They may have showed their card a little too fast and a little too soon in the last game. And that's what the game plan was. Like, we're not worrying about Ben on offense. Let's go take Embiid out. So that's what's going to happen, Nick. And that's how the Nets going to win.
Well, I don't think Ben's going to guard Kyrie in a series. I think Ben's going to guard Harden and a little on KD in a series. And if you want to watch Ben shut down a perimeter player, watch him play against Luka. No one has guarded Luka in Luka's entire career better than Ben, and I say that as Luka's father. It hurts my heart, but it's accurate. Now, I just think I view basketball differently than a lot of my colleagues. Because Ben Simmons and Kyrie Irving, I think most people in the basketball world, certainly on this panel, say Kyrie's a better player. I think they're flatly wrong. I think Kyrie is a 98 out of 100 on offense. I think Simmons is a 98 out of 100 on defense. The difference is Simmons is not a bad offensive player. He's a terrible shooter. But he's high efficiency, he passes the ball well, and he gives you 15 a game. So call Simmons a 98 on defense and a 55 on offense.